Hi everyone, Trish, leadyourlifestyle.com, a life of freedom and choice. I'm smiling, but only 10 minutes ago I was not smiling. I was pretty angry. It took me an hour to get out of my house, and I just had to go up the road. I head to America on Friday, and all I needed to do was these last minute chores. I had to go to the pharmacy, pick up a few things. I have to get the arm fixed on my glasses because that's broken. So just all of those little tasks that you have to do before you leave a country, keeping in mind that I'm leaving for 2 months. And I'm running around the house trying to look for my key, my front door key. I actually removed the front door key from my car keys so that I could leave it for someone. And the problem is that I've collected that key yesterday and it's not back on my key ring. So I go into panic mode because I can't find my key anywhere. And it's interesting, the observation of what happens to you in those moments of complete rage and anger, because you feel like at first that you're losing it. You can't remember where you put that key down. You can't remember when you even got it out of because I actually had to get it out of the letterbox. I remember doing that, and I had to get back into the house. So I knew that. However, I had no idea where I had put that. I couldn't even remember. And I had so much going on that I was sort of thinking, well, I had to come in for a webinar immediately after I'd come indoors. So maybe it's in my desk, maybe it's in my top drawers, but these are places that I wouldn't really go to and normally put something like that. So I was really stressed, like for an hour. I could not find this damn key. And I'm looking everywhere. And the first place that I did look was my handbag. Now, there is a lot of us out there that do this. An hour later, I go back to that handbag, and it's literally sitting at the bottom of that handbag. As soon as I opened it, it was sat there, and you could see that it was there. And I thought, what is going on? How many times has this happened to you where is it that you're blinded? Is it that you're not expecting to find it? What goes on? What goes through your mind when something like that happens? You have to question the state of mind that you're in. And for me, I always question how present I am. I think it's a little alarm bell for how present am I being. And when things like this happen, not very present, because your mind during that whole process of having to do and take action, during that process, the mind is just going, because I'm running 2 businesses, running a household, heading overseas again to America. And it's like there is so much going on that you do put a lot of pressure on yourself to perform. You put a lot of pressure on yourself to get things done. And I think that is conditioning a lot from our corporate lives. That pressure to know that you've got future deadlines to meet, to know that you've got future commitments and tasks to do, rather than just slowing down for a moment and taking those times throughout the day to just stop and breathe. Hi, is that you, Helena? I'll just get my glasses. I know you're going to laugh at this. So rather than, hi Mike, good to see you. Hamza, great to see you. So you get into this frantic state, which I have got myself so worked up. And I think you can tell by my energy and by my tonality and the way I'm speaking that I was so incredibly angry at myself. And that takes a lot, right? I don't even get that angry at other people. So we have to take stock of how we speak to ourselves, of how we treat ourselves, of being present, because this is another key aspect that I know that this is something that I've had to learn to do, is to actually be present. And that's actually be in that moment and know and observe and see what's around you and see what's going on. I'm so far into the future and I'm so thinking about what has to be done that I'm not present in my conversations, and I'm not being present maybe for my daughter, or I'm not being present as to my situation and where I am currently, and what am I doing with things, and where am I putting things. So it's a really important conversation to have with yourself, I think, when moments like that happen. Because what does that do? It just delays the inevitable. I mean, we run around frantically trying to find these keys that you lose, and you're just getting more and more annoyed at yourself, and you're telling yourself things that, are not very nice. And breathe. I know. I need to do that right now, because that was very stressful. I had to get out. I had to do some stuff. I'm here now. Mike, I spoke with Claudia an hour ago, and she said, "Are you available for a call?" I said, "Not now. I've got to get out and do some stuff." That was at least an hour ago, and here I am now. Just finally got out. I mean, what an hour of that. That was just frantic behaviour. So the lesson for that is you're always going to have those moments like this, and it means something's going on, and there is something going on, because I don't know whether to share on this particular call, but this morning I got a frantic text message from my daughter. And for any of you that's been following my journey, Emily has had very, very little contact with her father's family for now 20 years. My daughter's now 23. And it was very stressful. The last couple of months, she has been posted to Sydney, and she's got a new position. And about 2 months ago, she received a letter that turned up at her place of employment. Somebody had just dropped in a letter, and it was from her father's family 20 years ago. So to her, they are unknown strangers to her, and it did freak her out a lot. It did scare her a lot. And this letter was rather selfish, and you could see that the letter had a bit of an agenda. And we weren't very happy with it at all, including Emily. She was not very pleased. It is happening for a reason, Mike. And I'm just sharing this now after getting through this sort of angry sort of emotion this afternoon. Anyway, this morning I received a text from her to say that presents had been dropped off at her place of employment, and it's a bit morbid, actually. It's not very pleasant. It's a present that was actually purchased by her father. Her father passed away when she was 4 years of age, and the mother-in-law, my ex-mother-in-law, has actually dropped in a present from 20 years ago. And it's really quite shocking. It's affected me today. It has really impacted me. And this is life, isn't it? Sometimes life throws up challenges and circumstances that we have no real control over. And I didn't even think I'd be sharing this on this call, but I am. It was a big shock. It was a shock for both of us, Mike. And I have to phone her very soon just to see how she's coping, because all I did was I got a text because she'd actually started work. So what do we do in circumstances where we have zero control? And this is another lesson. You don't have control over external circumstances. The only control that you have is over yourself, your own thoughts and your own feelings. And so it's very important to observe what is going on in your life. So that last hour for me is a reflection of what's been happening this morning and today. It's this carryover of me not being present. And so I have to take charge of my thoughts and my feelings, and that's what I'm going to do. And I think that's a sort of a lesson or learning for everyone here that's listening to this or on this call. Thanks, Mike. For anyone listening and knowing that this goes on all the time. People have challenges. You'll have challenges in your life. You'll have circumstances that come up out of the blue, 20 years, and all of a sudden this challenge just appears. And it's not just the challenge of the present moment, it drags your whole history and your whole past into the present, into the future, and that's not a nice place to be sometimes. So it's how we collect our thoughts, how we compose ourselves. I feel calmer already actually just speaking to you guys. It's how you pull yourself together and move through it, is what's really important in this process. So I don't know where this call was going. For all of you out there, I don't even know how I'll be optimizing this particular video for anyone listening. But for anyone that is, you've sort of heard and seen and listened to my journey, and it's just all part of the journey, right? Sometimes it's not all about how to build a business. Sometimes it's not all about how to optimize your advertising or marketing for an online business. Sometimes, because we lead a very integrated lifestyle. And what I mean by a very integrated lifestyle, business and life tends to merge. So I'm working from home. I'm connecting with people in a community that are very close friends. They get to know who you are and what you're about and what's going on in your life. Your branding becomes your story. You want to become very real and authentic in your messages. So therefore, by being real and authentic, you share your life with people. And so this is what goes on. This is all part of messaging. It's all part of you, me, being a brand, I suppose, because I am sharing me. I'm sharing my story. And as I share a message every day is not all pink and rosy. Every day is not all the sun shining and everything's all happy, because there are always circumstances outside of our control that will come up. And I've had my fair share of it in the last 6 months, between a business partner walking away from a business, to my mum's diagnosis, to these little other things that are cropping up. Life, you have no control over that. It's just, your past coming to revisit you. It's health issues or family members that you have no control over. And sometimes you have big challenges with your business as well. And I had a massive one. And a business partner walking away from a business was a really tough thing to deal with. And again, all due to external circumstances. I had no control over that situation. And she had some very strong external influences and issues going on that influenced her decision to walk away. That's my share. I'm going to have a tough time cutting that one up for Instagram, but anyway, I think my message is to everyone, there are always ups and downs in life, and it's just how you handle them, how you brush yourself off, and how you move through it, and how you can impact other people's lives and provide value to them. And I think what I've done here is just highlight that life gets in the way, whether you are a successful business owner, whether you are happy and successful in your job, your corporate life, whatever it is, there is always underlying stuff going on. And if we don't share that, if we don't talk about that, it can really, really fester. And I can even see my mood shift from the beginning of this call and to now, and I'm smiling. And this is as a result of me talking about it, having a voice, finding my voice and speaking, even though it feels like a camera right now. It doesn't feel like that because it feels like I'm talking to people that understand. That's my share. I can see some more messages that are coming up. You're right. We can only control the controllables. That's right. And that's our feelings, our thoughts, what we're going through, how we respond are the things that we can, to a certain extent, control. And yeah, you can see I'm back now. It's always a video is always a good therapy session. And Mike, this is my business page, not the members group either. I'm sure this was my business page. And, we're supposed to put on a bit of a persona and a bit of a facade or whatever, a certain expectation that we are to deliver something of a business manner to this page. However, sometimes that's not always. It just doesn't work out that way. As this, I press the button and I'm just progressing with this call, and it is what it is. I'm just talking to you as a friend right now, and I do feel a lot better. So that's my share, and I'll be seeing you very soon, Mike, in Charlotte. Yep, just do me. That's what I've just done. Just do me. Just do. Actually, we had a great mastermind this morning. It was the leadership team, and a lot of it was on that. Amy was on it. Amy Taylor was on it. And she's a big one for having authentic, real authentic conversations. And if you're going through stuff, share it. And like I said before in this call, you are your brand, you are your story. And the more you build a business like this, like an online business, it's integrated, and your story is your experiences day to day, becomes your brand, or it's so integrated that people will get to know the authentic you, and the more they do, the more they trust and they see that you're real. I'm going to finish now because otherwise I'll just keep rambling. And that's my share. And Mike, I'll be seeing you in Charlotte next week. Bye, everyone. Love you all. Bye.